Hey, so today I wanted to talk about the abortion debate. I've been watching a lot of Lila Rose videos where she lays her arguments and defeats her opponents. she's um, she's a true warrior in that sense, and one of the reasons I believe that her argumentation is so solid is because is based in a fundamental truth, which is life is divine. Life is an I can never say that word, inalienable right. And that is not something crazy that I say or she says or, the priest says. That is even stated in the Declaration of Independence. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those three things. The first one leading these other two things is life. So her arguments are strong, and it's very, very difficult to kind of corner her. Any of her opponents that attempts to corner her gets always tangled in their own mental gymnastics. So the thing here is not abortion itself, because there's plenty of that content online. To me, the question is, how did we get to this point? When oh my gosh. Okay. We'll need to make a little pause. I'll come back. The question here is, when did we forget about God? Because we prioritized liberty over life, and liberty understood as my choice, and everything started going backwards. And so we left Christianity as this, we left it in the corner as with this kind of like old book of, fairy tales. And we just continued through life without that structure. We started getting things twisted. We started decoding or interpreting liberty or freedom as a choice or a preference, and consequently we got into this point where we need to come up with a lot of mental gymnastics to really justify the craziness of what an abortion is. And we got it all back. We got it all reversed. We kind of like inverted the order of life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. We started with pursuit of happiness, then we kind of like transform liberty into the ability to choose what brings me happiness. And then by the end of everything of that chain comes life, somewhere around there. And I think that this type of kind of deformity is definitely affecting us in every level. And abortion is a reflection of this type of very incongruent foundation or type of thinking. And behind that, there is even a bigger, even like a more serious incongruence, that is that we have rejected Christian foundation while simultaneously advocating for Christian values. Specifically, I'm talking about equality. So equality has been the theme of the woke culture over the last 20 years, 30 years. And we get very serious about it. And if you're not for equality, so then you are called all of these names. And yet, at the same time that we're advocating for equality, which is again a Christian value, because before Christianity, there was no equality. There was hierarchy and slavery. That was the rule of man back before Christianity. And obviously, when Christianity comes, things have not been perfect, but at least have been guaranteed. And we advocate for that, but then at the same time, we reject and distance from the foundation, the Christian foundation itself. So that kind of contradiction is definitely, it definitely branches out to different type of deformities. One of them, abortion. And there are a couple more of them, like transgenderism. You name it. There's a couple of different things that stem from that kind of like inconsistency in the framework. And I don't know where all of this is leading. What I do know is that one of these consequences that we are all observing, and a lot of world leaders and politicians and prominent figures around the globe are concerned about, is the fertility rates. And I think this thing that is going on with people not wanted to, not making the effort, or not considering, or considering at the very last moment. And I say that from experience, because that was my experience too. I was just like pushing, the bearing children to the very last minute, is because of this inversion, of this order inversion, where first it comes pursuit of happiness, and that's very fleeting. It's like whatever is kind of like shining out there, and then after that comes my choice. So I want a spicy latte, or I want a chocolate caramel latte, and then at the very, very least, it comes live. And so because of this inversion, there is, at least specifically in the West, this delay, or these second thought about children, and this whole kind of dragging idea of, oh gosh, do I need to have children? Do I have to have children? Do I want children? And here we are with fertility rates that are very, very low, especially in Europe. I don't know. I think this is going to end up like the Matrix, where they just like plug and make babies out of clones, or they just grow humans in a lab. I don't see another solution for that, is if we continue down this road. And if you compare that with other cultures that are still very rooted in faith, like Muslims or Orthodox Jews or Amish people, they are having the right amount of people to continue um, with their predecessors, or with the next generations, to continue with the human race. Really, the future belonged to them. And that is because the fundamentals are making logic. They are not inverted. There are no inconsistencies, not incongruences. Things are in order. So we killed God, and I'm not too sure that was a good idea. I think the best option right now is to go back into believing that there's something more transcendent, that there's something that transcends us, that there are truths that are universal, and probably kind of routing that through Christianity. Is Christianity the religion and everything else is wrong? I don't know. Maybe not. But that's our tradition. And let's embrace it. That's part of our identity. And I think that once we go back to those roots, probably things are going to get easier to understand. And maybe this idea of giving yourself to others, so becoming a family, becoming a mother, becoming a parent, is not so crazy, and is part of your human nature. And that's going to stem from Christianity, from the tradition. Anyways, thank you so much for being here. Sorry about that interruption. My name is Magdalene. I'm doing these videos so I can learn how to articulate better. And if you want to learn a little bit more about this video in particular, there's a Substack in the comment box where you can go and read a more organized stream of thoughts. Thank you. Bye bye.